Let's go to Jeremy in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jeremy, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Mr. Ken. How are you?
Jeremy, I'm living the dream. What's going on?
So I'll be short and to the point. I work for my dad in his small business, and needless to say, I hate my job. I love my dad. There's no problems between me and him at all. But I hate my job. I get depressed when I think about having to go into work the next day.
Wow.
And I don't know what to do. Going back to school really isn't an option. I've got a 18-month-old daughter at home and another baby on the way. And I've listened to your show. I don't know what my passions are. I don't know really what direction to take.
How old are you, Jeremy?
I'm 26.
All right, 26. And how long have you worked for your dad? Pretty much right out of high school or college?
I went to a ministry school, Bible ministry school for 4 years, and then as soon as I got out, I started working for him. So about 4 years now.
Okay, and why did you go to seminary or Bible college?
I am a preacher. I feel feel that need, to preach the gospel and share the word.
Why aren't you preaching?
I do. I feel like one day I will pastor. That timing's not up to me.
Wait. You're right. You are theologically correct. I'm glad you said it that way, but I think you're making that an excuse. So how can you tell me you don't know what your passions are? And this is assuming you know how I define passion. I define passion in the construct of this conversation and this show as work that we are willing to suffer for. That's the Latin. The Latin for passion essentially means to suffer, meaning we'll do the work whether we're getting paid. We'll do the work whether people notice us. We just love the work. Like, I love broadcasting. I love coaching people. I love it. I'm going to be real honest with you right now. I have a splitting headache. I took an Aleve about an hour ago. It's not helping. I don't feel so hot right now. I didn't feel hot when I walked in. My head's rocking right now. But can I tell you, my heart's rocking too. I'm so alive right now, Jeremy. You'd have to drag me out of the studio. That's passion. Now, how can you tell me that you feel called to preach and you tell me you don't know what you're passionate about? What's going on?
I guess I just mean more on the secular side,
Hold on a second. Hold on. Why are we having this conversation, Jeremy? I'm a pastor's son, so I'm going to come at you a little bit more intense than I do most callers, because you and I grew up in the same world, and I don't believe if you've been called to preach that you should be doing anything but that. So you should be serving on a church staff full time. You can't say, well, Ken, I know I'm supposed to preach one day, but the timing's not up to me. Well, you're working for your dad in a family business instead of being in ministry right now. Allowing God to open doors for you and you getting the training that you need, the experience you need, making the connections you need in full-time ministry. What am I missing? And if I'm wrong, that's fine, but I don't know how I could possibly be wrong when a 26-year-old who's felt the call to preach is not in full-time ministry. Tell me what's going on.
I'm really not sure how to explain that part of it. When I'm called to a church, to come by and preach, I will. A lot of churches that I am associated with are smaller churches, so they don't have, the full staff and to be able for me to work there full time. And
okay,
and,
all right, hold on a second.
Like so that's
okay. I get it. Are you called to preach or not?
Yes, sir.
Are you called to be a full-time pastor, or do you feel like you're more to the evangelist type fill-in role, which is what you're doing?
I believe eventually full-time pastor.
Who's up to what's your role in the eventually versus God's role?
obedience, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Can I tell you that I don't think you're being obedient?
Yes, sir.
I don't think you are. I didn't say I know. I'm stopping short of saying I know. But there is no reason that you've given me yet. Here's the moment for you to tell me I'm wrong. Because I do not mind being wrong. Because I'm actually pushing you. I'm pushing you to do what you were created to do. And if I make you uncomfortable, fine. There's no reason that you have given me yet that says you should not be on a larger church staff because you've got the seminary or the Bible college degree or whatever it is. You need to be serving full-time in a ministry, a parachurch or a church ministry. But if you feel the call to be a full-time pastor, you're going to look up from now and you're going to be 32 and you're going to be making the same excuses you're making now. And your excuse is, well, I got to take care of my wife and family. And that's a lie from the pit of hell that you can't do that in ministry because I know better. You know better. And then the other issue is, well, Ken, I'm preaching for small churches right now, so they can't put me on staff. So I'm just going to keep serving the Lord and just telling him I'm available and wait for somebody to call me one day out of nowhere and tell me that God revealed to them that I'm supposed to be their senior pastor. That's what it sounds like to me. Does it sound like that to you?
When you put it like that, yeah.
But that's what's happening, yes, brother. You hate your job. I think this is your Jonah moment. I think you're ignoring Nineveh. And I think you need to go back and reread that and write a sermon and preach it to yourself. I think it's time for you to, at 26, to get on a church staff that's big enough that you can get in and they take care of you. How much money are you making right now for your dad?
I right at 40.
Yeah, you can make $40,000 anywhere in the nation. You just got to get in and hustle. It's time for you and the wife to get on full-time staff. If you got to start as a youth pastor, that's fine, but you need to be preaching and learning how to lead a church. And you're not going to learn how to be a senior pastor. You're not going to get better at preaching and ministering, working a day job, just waiting for somebody to tap you on the shoulder. I'm going to close our conversation with this because you know what you need to do. But the Bible says in Hebrews, without faith, it is, I want you to finish the sentence.
Impossible to please God.
Yeah, it's time for you to step out, bro. And you know it and I know it. And I'm not knocking you by saying you're in sin. I'm saying that you are not being obedient because you are being called. And in fact, well, I'm not ready to let you go yet because now I'm preaching to the preacher. What is the voice and what is the response of Samuel in the Old Testament when he's awakened in the middle of the night? What does he say after he realizes it's not the high priest that he's living with? What does he say to the Lord's voice?
That your servant heareth.
Yeah.
Or your servant's listening.
Yeah. And I think it's time for you to revisit that story as well. Go, Jeremy. You got this, man. Start making moves now. And you tell your dad, I've been ignoring the call, and now I'm going to start to make the journey to full-time ministry, which is what you were created to do. And if you don't do it, you are not in obedience. You might as well be Jonah, and I don't want you to end up in the belly of a whale. By the way, all these people that don't go to church right now are going, what in the world is he talking about? Well, you can go examine it yourself. Whether you believe it or not, it sure is a great story, and there's some stuff to learn. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yes.
Joe, tell everybody what happens when you know what you're supposed to do and you don't do it. And you make excuses. What happens?
You start getting twisted inside.
That's a great answer, Joe. Well done.
Thank you.
It'll twist you up like a pretzel. And the only thing that'll undo it is retreating to clarity and doing what you were created to do.